You have to cut the current
Hello
record.
and welcome to Trade You for the Fruit Punch, episode 19. We had some technical difficulties. The army barracks / prison that Ari lives in Afghanistan had some Wi-Fi issues, and thus we could not connect for 15 minutes, or else we would have started at 6 p.m. and not 6:17 p.m. here on Thursday, February 2nd. Welcome, Ari. It's always nice to see you. It's been
a while because someone decided to leave for New York.
so someone decided to go to the Knicks-Lakers game and then decided to take a 6 a.m. train to Northern Virginia, actually to Washington, D.C., to go to work yesterday, but could not make it to
Did not
Maryland
visit his
to
son.
drop off Triscuits and yogurt, Middle Eastern yogurt.
Really? You're gonna say
labneh.
yogurt? We both know. There you go. Don't dumb
So
it
we are
down for
back.
the people.
We are back. We are
3
back.
days should be.
It's okay. So I decided yesterday to start counting my calories again.
Oh boy, you were so much fun when you did that the last time.
So I just want our audience to know that I'm counting my calories for the purpose of losing a little bit of weight. We'll see how it goes. The audience will know immediately because it comes here.
Is it cutting season?
It's cutting season.
By the way, the double chin thing is so overstated. If you try hard enough, you can double chin. I could give myself a double chin by doing that.
You can't. You weigh 12 pounds. Fuck you kidding. My face is like a basketball right now. Look at it. It's a
Double
fucking
chin.
circle.
Double.
It's a double chin.
It's like, but that's what I'm saying. It's bullshit.
Let's look
Double
at my
chins
face.
are overstated.
Look at my face. It's round. I need work.
It's cutting season.
It's cutting season. I saw this thing on Facebook where this guy was wearing like a plastic bag shirt. And they showed him like, because I get my news from Facebook and my reels from Facebook.
Of course.
And he pulled up this shirt and like water just dripped out. I was like, that's what I need. I need to cut weight that way. It's disgusting. The other thing I did, I decided to buy this thing called overnight oats. Now, this won't matter to you because you don't eat real food. You eat like a fucking 3-year-old child. But I decided to buy something called overnight oats. You basically put a bag of stuff in a shaker with milk. You shake it. You leave it overnight. And it's okay.
I've heard of this.
It's a little sweet. I think I'm going to get annoyed. Like I have 20 different flavors. I think I'm going to get annoyed.
I give it 3 weeks.
Well, I have enough for like more than 3 weeks, so it's not going to be 3 weeks. Your sister likes them too. She's going to eat them, and it's going to piss me off because she'll probably eat the good ones, not the bad ones.
Definitely.
I'm going to let her just have the chocolate ones because I don't like them very much. So I went. I went to the Lakers Knicks game at Madison Square Garden. Tickets were ridiculously expensive. Annoyed
You got
me.
some overtime?
I did get some overtime, so I got a little bit more of my money's worth. And then on my way home, I stopped by an Asian market, and I bought another food for us to try.
Oh.
So it's not a food, it's a candy.
Interesting. I mean, they usually are.
So it's a candy. It's a honeydew and cream candy, hard candy.
Interesting.
Do you know what a honeydew is?
Yes.
You do? What is a honeydew? What family is it in?
It's a fruit.
What kind of a fruit?
It's a melon.
It's a melon. I'm surprised you knew that.
Actually. I know my
I know you're a smart guy, but you've never had a honeydew melon. So why would you know?
Have you ever do?
Have I? Of course I've had honeydew melon. I like it better than the that orange mushy shit that most people like.
Cantaloupe,
Honeydew's got a harder texture. It's a little bit more tart, a little bit sour. It's just it's a.
Yeah,
I
I've
prefer
had
it
a
to be-
honeydew, by the way.
You've had a honeydew?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't believe this, but okay, if you say so. So it's a honeydew and cream hard candy, and I bought a bag of like 50 of them. So you better like them because you're eating them for the rest of the semester. So we also bought you a train ticket home for the Super Bowl. So you're coming home Saturday. You're missing a day's worth of classes, which I'm not happy about, and I'm driving you back on Monday after the Super Bowl. In the meantime, though, I will be in LA and Arizona next week.
This guy does not stop traveling. He's
Uh-huh.
never home anymore. We can't record ever again.
Well, so the nice I'm going to you wouldn't I didn't even know this. I'm going to the Phoenix Open golf.
Boring.
No, so apparently the Phoenix Open is like a fucking party. It's the players acting like there's a crowd. The crowd acting like it's the US Open tennis of golf. So it's like a party. And so I plan on enjoying myself on Thursday of next week.
But unless you enjoy tennis, the US Open isn't enjoyable.
No, but it's a party. Like it people can go who aren't tennis fans and enjoy the US Open because it's got that party atmosphere, especially
Tell that to your daughter.
By the way, the Friday night of Labor Day weekend, oh, that's the best. That is a party because people are just getting ready. They're just getting into the long weekend. They're drinking a little bit, a lot.
Listen, I love the US Open, but your daughter prizes the US Open.
Okay, well, she's, a stick in the mud. What are we drinking over there, by the way?
It's true. But not that.
Did you bring that with you, or did you buy that in like the student store or whatever?
I went to Trader Joe's. Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. Yeah, I don't have. You know what? I don't have a sponsored advertisement. So Trader Joe's.
San
that's
Pellegrino. San Pellegrino.
Well,
not
the reason
why of the podcast.
No. Here's the thing. The reason why we're gonna do Trader Joe's as our sponsor.
You can do a smear campaign.
My smear campaign.
Oh boy.
And I don't even have copy for this. But my theory on Trader Joe's. I have a theory on Trader Joe's. Let me focus. My theory on Trader Joe's is the branded stuff like Pellegrino, great. Right? You enjoy a limonata. It's delicious. And it's delicious the 50th time, the same as it's delicious the first time. Maybe not exactly, but really close. Right? It's consistent.
But
Trader Joe's, you go there and you buy like Trader Joe's branded, even the chocolate covered pretzels, peanut butter filled pretzels, right? Milk chocolate, little pretzel nugget, peanut butter inside. You would think delicious. By the third bag, you're like, what's wrong with this? There's always something wrong. First bag is amazing. Second bag, close. Third bag, you're like, what happened? I feel like they chintz on the ingredients. I feel like they don't quite get the formula.
But if the ingredients, wouldn't you taste that the first time?
I don't know.
I feel like you like it and you're like immediately, you really like it, and then you realize this is Trader Joe's, and each time you're like, I'm buying from Trader Joe's, and you get really mad about it.
You think I make that face too? Like I'm buying from Trader Joe's. When I'm inside, yes. I'm like,
I've seen you make that face.
Trader Joe's.
I've seen you make that face.
I probably do make that face. I usually don't make it in public. I make it in the car, either on the way there,
on the way or on the way back. Yeah.
But yes, okay. Anyhow, Trader Joe's, the non-sponsor sponsor of the show. And we slag them off because that's how we roll.
Who's we? So, I go all the time. I love it.
You're a putz. You don't know any better. You don't know good food.
Everyone likes
Trader Joe's. You buy limonata. What else do you buy there?
I buy the peanut butter pretzels.
Chocolate covered?
Just normal.
See? Chocolate covered. They're off.
I've never had the chocolate covered. I'm using it. I don't want the sweetness. I want them to just be salty.
Yeah, but even the peanut butter at Trader Joe's like isn't all that good. It's like flaky. It's
Oh boy, you gotta stop, man.
It's not
You gotta
creamy.
stop. We're
It's
moving
not
on.
like
We're moving
we're
on.
moving on to
I did
sports.
though. I
Oh,
bought I bought
oh,
Aranciata Rosa. I bought the
yeah.
blood orange one. Not as good as I wanted it to be. Not bad, but
So I would
I don't know.
prefer that
I
one.
was a little disappointed.
Sour, a little sour.
No, like I don't think you'd like it because they're all a little sour. They're coming from sour like foods, right? Like limonata's got a little bit of tang to it, and I like that. But I don't know. It's just maybe it's not as sour as I want it to be.
So how do you carry this stuff home? Like if you buy a case of like limonata.
Oh, it's painful. It's a workout. I bought 4 cases of this stuff. I was like get 1.5 miles. It's a struggle. It's like a solid 20 pounds for half.
You have them in the Trader Joe's bags, like the paper
I
bags, double
I
bag.
onto one bag so that I can just carry them like in my arms like this. It's a tough one. It's tough. But it's how I'm getting big.
Yeah. So you know what I've noticed, by the way? So the Trader Joe's bags are pretty good. The Whole Foods bags have been terrible lately. Like
Really?
they rip. You could put like a bag of lettuce and like a bottle of water in a double bagged Whole Foods bag, and that thing's ripping. And it's not even like I'm not talking like a jug of water. I'm talking like a little water and like a little bag of like romaine lettuce, which is
I
not
like to
heavy.
imagine that these are the conversations our listeners want to hear. I
I
like to
think
imagine.
these are the companies. They don't care about the sports. We don't give them anything all that special when it comes to sports.
No, we don't
They go
say
like
anything
this.
like original. And we're 3 days late. Everyone's gotten their Super Bowl content already.
Oh, I dropped it.
Oh boy.
I'm back.
We're very professional, folks.
Yes. So do we start on the sports? Like, can we keep this to an hour maybe today? Let's try.
Yeah, right.
No, we are because there's not a lot to talk. So
Uh-huh.
we usually start
There's
off
not a
with.
lot to talk about. Interesting.
I mean, there's a lot, but we start off with the Eagles,
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl bound
Super Bowl
Eagles.
bound Eagles. I've been
Uh,
saying all year they're a team.
Disappointed that they're not playing the Bengals because I would have liked to have had, if the Eagles didn't win, a $525 payout, not a $180 payout.
By the way,
But
our predictions so far, we're totally tied. We both went 5-1 in the first round. We both went 3-1 last round, and we both went 1-1 this time.
I didn't really pick the Cowboys. Let's be honest. Like
you picked the Cowboys.
You made me. I didn't bet the Cowboys.
You were like, you were so unlike the Niners when it was so obvious you should have. That it was essentially you picking the Cowboys. Get to go back on this.
I do.
No,
I do, and I'm going to. But
my Bucks pick was clearly just because I wanted to be an asshole. Do I get to renege on that one? No.
No, that's not what happened, and you know it.
That's exactly
what are you talking about. Okay,
I wanted to be an asshole and go against the Cowboys.
We wanted to play the Bengals because I wanted at least like
Actually, I didn't want to play. I didn't want to play the Bengals. They scare me more. I think they're the better.
They didn't look all that good. The Chiefs scared me.
Neither did the Chiefs.
The Chiefs' offense scares me.
The Chiefs overall, like personnel-wise, we have the edge in pretty much every group of players. They have Patrick Mahomes. That offense is literally just they have Patrick Mahomes and they have Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Hopefully we're game planning for them.
I mean, there's not much else to get for.
Yeah, I would agree. I actually bet the Chiefs when they were the 4th favorites. And then by the time the games were played, they were the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Can you believe that? Like, I think I got them at 3.5 to 1. And by the time betting closed or, whatever, by the time it was like Sunday morning, they were 2.4 to 1.
with no games had been played, nothing had
Nothing.
changed.
Nothing had changed.
Weird.
Maybe news on Mahomes had come out, but yeah, nothing had changed.
That might be it.
So Eagles handled the Niners. Now, the Niners, like, what do you think of emergency quarterbacks? Yes or no?
No, because the thing about emergency quarterbacks is they used to have that as a thing. It was 45-man roster plus one emergency quarterback. Then they just added a 46th roster spot. Like, you not bringing an extra quarterback, that's on you. Sign another quarterback. It's clear your guys get injured. Fully their fault.
So, did you enjoy watching that game?
It was a slog.
We didn't look all that good, especially the first half.
Didn't look all that good.
I mean, our defense, like...
Important distinction. No. Was all over them. We injured two quarterbacks. It wasn't like a freak injury. They could not stop us from getting to them.
So once we injured Purdy, like, the rest of it is... We were playing like half a team. We were playing...
And I think that's part of it. I think part of it is literally, once you injured Purdy, it was kind of like, don't show anything. Just get the job done.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit up because I want that to be the case, but I'm hoping that it was a case of, we know we're going to win this game, like, get the job done and let's move on.
I will say I did not love the way we looked in the first half. I thought we were on offense now. Forget defense, right?
Yeah.
On offense, I didn't think we were playing very well. I didn't think it was...
Until, like, the last 2 minutes of the first half.
I mean, Jalen missed a lot of guys. Which I'm fine with.
Ball was off. He missed A.J. Brown, I think, twice, where it was like he was open in space.
But I'm okay with it. We won handily. And by the way, people have asked me this week, not listeners, just people I know. We don't have any listeners. People I know were asking me, would you have preferred a close game? And my answer to that is very simply no. Yeah. I like ass whoopings. I like it over at halftime. I don't want to be on the edge of my seat. It doesn't make me happy.
If you're a neutral, I'm sure you'd rather have a close game. Right? Like, if you're a neutral, Chiefs-Bengals was a way better game. It was close, and there was intrigue the whole way through. But as an Eagles fan, if you're saying yes to that question, like, no, you're not doing it.
Yeah, right. I'm not a neutral. So I'm not about, like, I just want the team that I want to win by a lot.
Exactly.
So would you rather, though, lose in, like, the conference final or lose in the Super Bowl?
I mean, Super Bowl hurts more, but you made it to the Super Bowl.
So in hindsight, I wish the Phillies had never made the World Series.
No, you don't.
I do a little bit.
No, you don't.
I do.
By the way, I saw 2017 NBA Finals winner was the Warriors. World Series winner was the Astros. Super Bowl winner. So here's what I'm...
How about the hockey one?
Who won in 2017? Who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. I posit that the Phillies took one for the team. The Phillies threw the World Series to get the Eagles one more. Like, we'll be back next year. That's what I'm going with. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, your story's wrong. I bet the Phillies to win the World Series. I think it was like 14-1. I have a lot of these small bets. I bet that Rafa Nadal would win the Australian Open. He lost in the third round. Not a good bet. I bet a 6-leg parlay on the Eagles game where it was Eagles win. I think that was the only one I got right.
Of course.
Jalen Hurts touchdown, which I got right, but he didn't have a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, We had a QB sneak. QB sneaks in a row.
Oh, that's right. So Jalen Hurts touchdown. I got that right. A.J. Brown, 90 yards. Definitely
Nope.
didn't get that one right. Miles Sanders, like over 55 and a half yards. Didn't get that one right.
Terrible. Like, other than those two, he had 2 good runs, and both of them were for touchdowns.
Well, so the Niners were good, though. Like, let's
No,
give credit where credit is due. Their defense is good.
Their defense is good, but their defense, or I'm thinking their pass rush, but their defense was not as good.
Very good.
Yes.
And I forget the other 2 legs of my 6-leg parlay, but I didn't get them right either. So now we play the Chiefs next week. And in the meantime, we've got that. What the fuck is that Pro Bowl with like?
No, I'm interested to see what happens. I'm very interested.
Why did they pick a quarterback with 2 touchdown passes to play in the flag football Pro Bowl?
Well, so now the question is,
for that?
do you convince yourself that you can let Lamar Jackson go because you have his backup as a Pro Bowl quarterback?
So here's a question, right? So they write into his contract. I don't know if they did. They write into his contract like a $50,000 bonus for making the Pro Bowl.
It would be funnier if it were bigger than that. You get like you get $3 million if you make the Pro Bowl. He'll never hit that.
But did he actually make the Pro Bowl?
It counts, I think.
How does it count? It's kind of like last man standing, right? Like you've got a firing line and you're shooting at 8 people. You got 7 bullets and you're just like blindfolded, and you hit like 7 out of the 8. Like, you're left. You're in the Pro Bowl, my friend. You're like, what? I made the Pro Bowl. I'm a Pro Bowler. Like, you're not a
Mom, Dad, I made it.
Like, I'm more of a Pro Bowler than him.
I think he played like, 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
I don't even know his name. What is his name? What's his name? Do you know you don't even know his name.
I know his name, but I'm blanking on it because me.
You don't even know his name.
It'll come to me, but I'm blanking.
Yeah, it'll come to you. When you look it up on the intrawebs, you don't even know his fucking name.
No, I know his name.
I'm going to help you out here. We're going to look it up. Baltimore Ravens.
Is it Huntley?
QB in the Pro Bowl. Tyler Huntley, is that his name?
Yes!
Is that his name?
I told you it would come to me.
I said it.
No, you didn't.
Oh, you said it and then I heard you as I was typing it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You fucking ass.
I thought I got it. I'm like, Tyler Huntley, Tyler Huntley. Somebody, like, I thought there was a little voice in my head.
The voice of God came to you? Huntley.
Yes, Huntley. Yeah, Tyler Huntley.
I told you I was blanking.
Okay, Tyler Huntley. Do we know anything about this guy? Let's go to the Ravens page. Let's see how they like put out a press release. They can't deny this. They like put out a news story. It will be a first Pro Bowl trip for Huntley. No fucking shit. It's like a first start for Huntley, or a first game played ever for Huntley. He started the Ravens' final 5 games. All of them losses.
All of them losses.
Highest passer rating in AFC this postseason. Tyler Huntley's second. The Ravens are really playing this one up.
A single game.
Well, he's got a higher passer rating than Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, and Trevor Lawrence. I mean, it doesn't help that Trevor Lawrence threw like
that is shameless.
That is shameless. So Tyler Huntley.
So shameless. I respect it.
Tyler, I could run you over with my car and I wouldn't know it was you.
That's so aggressive.
Predictions for the Super Bowl.
I think we should, like, on paper we have the far better team. Hassan Reddick over 3.5 sacks. That is my official prediction.
I'm going under.
He's so good.
He is so good, but He's not hitting with
By the way, are we going to gloss over the fact that there was an all-out brawl? That was the most excitement I got out of that entire game.
It was like 4 minutes left, and so here's what I don't understand is that San Francisco 49er, I don't even know who, offensive lineman. He basically threw a guy to the ground, and yet the guy
threw punches.
And the guy who's thrown to the ground got the same penalty as him, and they both got kicked out. Like, how is that fair and appropriate and reasonable? The one play so what I noticed a lot during the game, and this is what I do not like about football, is there are a lot of extracurriculars after a play is dead. And so
they were dirty all game.
They were very
and they've been dirty all season, but like it was finally exposed here. And they did nothing but embarrass themselves all day.
Well, so that one where I think it was a linebacker for the Niners who was trying to punch the ball out of Miles Sanders.
That was funny.
And he didn't just do it once, he did it 3 times. And
it's allowed. It's fully legal. It's going after the whistle had been blown.
So it's legal, but it's not in that way. Like if you're going for a tackle and you're going like this, it's allowed. He literally was just like Manny Pacquiao.
He was doing what I do during Punch of the Week.
He was. And I really should know his name because I was gonna use him as my Punch of the Week, but like I don't know his name.
Literal Punch of the Week.
Yeah. So
my favorite play of the game though was when they put McCaffrey in for one single snap at quarterback and he threw the ball that they were like, fuck it, we're not doing that again.
Well, so we looked up who their backup quarterback is, and it's like their fullback, I think. And I'm not sure why they didn't put him in. Because he was
it was use check.
Yeah. Why didn't they put him in?
I don't know. I was confused.
Did he even play all game?
I don't think so. I didn't see him, but I wasn't.
It's
really
better than a guy who can't lift his arm to put a jacket on and couldn't throw more than 8 yards, which, by the way, I think even with a healed arm, he can't throw the ball more than 8 yards anyway. But they actually
checked out.
They pass within like the box, and so he doesn't need to throw more than 8 yards. But he does not have a strong arm.
Yeah, around all game. I don't want to hear anything about like this would have been a game if he'd been healthy. No, it wouldn't. We murdered Debo every play. The only person getting anything going was McCaffrey.
McCaffrey did have an okay/decent game. So Eagles are in the Super Bowl. We're playing the Chiefs. I think we will win this game. I think it will be close.
Oh, it'll be so ugly.
I think we're the much better team. But you never know. That's why they play the game. And whenever a team's got Mahomes, like they've got a chance. Now, the one thing I have to hope happens is my buddy Andy Reid has never been a very good X's and O's guy. There's a reason why he loses a lot more than he wins in the really big games. And I hope he kind of gets it wrong against us.
Coach of all time. I'm running the agenda. I don't care.
Andy Reid.
Yeah.
You know he's not my favorite. Not even close.
I know. That's why I'm going with it.
And this is going to be a hot take. And he doesn't even have a son on the coaching roster to get a DUI the night before the Super Bowl.
Let's move on. Let's move on. The Phillies, we have a tiny bit of Phillies news.
No, we don't.
They signed an outfielder, couldn't care less. The Phillies have the number 6 all of baseball.
Okay.
The number 1 right-handed prospect.
I really don't want to talk about the Phillies all season. Like the only way we talk about
I miss them. I miss them.
If they make the playoffs. I am not watching those games.
What? No, we're talking about the Phillies. The
I
Phillies
am not
exist.
talking about the Phillies.
Okay, then you can just leave it to me. My friends want to hear more of me anyway.
Yeah, they said this, last semester, and you
No,
haven't
they
spoken.
said this last week or a week and a half ago or whatever.
Nobody listened to last week's episode. Who are you kidding?
No, they said it when we got back. The night I got back, we had a meeting. We talked. And they said,
Who's
we still
we?
want to hear more.
Who's we?
Me, the two girls in my dorm, and two other guys on the floor above me.
Yeah, have them talk to me directly, not through you.
I will.
Yeah, I'm talking to you guys.
I will. They're not
Do
listening.
you see me?
They haven't gotten this far. They only listen to the random thoughts, I think. Are you
Right,
okay? What are you doing?
And they love me in the random thoughts. You know it's
No,
true.
they want to hear more of me. They think
You
you
have
are
nothing
dominating the
to say about
conversation. They think
Random
you're
Thoughts is
dominating
the only addition and contribution I make to this podcast.
That is
Other than
true.
hosting it, recording it, uploading it, making sure everything's about, everything's right. All right, so Phillies, who cares? Sixers.
The Sixers pulled me in and then immediately pushed me back out. They had me for all of 2 days. So we beat the Nets, which was huge, which was the night that we recorded our last podcast episode. And then Joel bullied Jokic on national television.
I was there.
We eked out a win, an outstanding game. And then 2 days later, a 21-point lead to the Orlando Magic. And I think the Orlando Magic are okay. They've been I think a 500 team for the last 2 months. But you should be beating the Magic.
Well, you did. You beat them last night.
The game last night was so ugly, too. You won that game because the Magic shot, I think, 15% from three. Literally 15%.
So playing the Magic is just I know you like the Magic and you're like they're a fun team to watch and I like to see them. They're boring as hell. And the Sixers were boring playing them.
They're long and they're athletic and they're exactly the kind of team they're against.
It was I didn't watch Monday and they lost and I watched last night and they won. So I think I'm back. I'm not banned.
You're allowing yourself to watch now?
I'm allowing myself to watch the Sixers. The issue I have, and this is the issue I've had with Joel for a really long time, and I've mentioned it before, and this even happened against Jokic, and it happened against Ben quite a bit, is he's looking for the foul as opposed to looking to finish, and it doesn't matter if he gets fouled.
But he was not looking for the foul against Ben. He was looking to murder Ben.
He was also looking for the foul, and he was more concerned with murdering Ben than he was with putting the ball in.
But that's a different thing. That's a different issue. He got overexcited
significantly, and it happened in the first half against Jokic too. He gets out of his mind when it comes to a point he's trying to prove.
I prefer that.
I wish that from him. Please just focus on fucking putting the ball in the net.
What did he do against Jokic?
I mean, he scored 47.
He scored 47 fucking points.
But he wanted to drop a 50-piece on him. He couldn't do it. I mean, the game was in hand. Look, it was a great game. It was a lot of fun. The crowd was fun. You could tell we had a chance because every time we would cut it to within 3, they'd then pull back out by 13 or 12 or 10. And in the fourth quarter,
8-0 runs. It was so strange.
Right, but in the fourth quarter, we pulled it back to within 3, and Denver only then got up by 6. We didn't let them pull away, and I think we had a chance once that happened, and it ended up that we did have a chance, and we ended up winning.
I made a statement after the game. I called you. I said, I'm giving this one to Doc and PJ. And I said that I wasn't going to slander PJ for a week, and I wasn't going to slander Doc for 2 weeks. And I immediately, the next game, regretted that. Because I found myself thinking, a coach whose name rhymes with cock divers.
No, rock.
No, I went with cock. I went with cock.
Divers.
I wanted cock.
That's horrible. You know that's not right.
A coach whose name rhymes with cock divers is the worst of all time. I found myself thinking that, but I couldn't say it. I couldn't tweet it. I couldn't call you and say it. And it just immediately. And Montrez is the worst player of all time.
Explain to our listeners why you actually appreciated what Doc did against the Nuggets. What did he do?
Well, because Doc saw that Joel on Jokic wasn't working as well as we would have liked it to. And so he switched PJ onto him with Tobias helping off of him. And Tobias got a deal that I remember where Jokic was a little lackadaisical with the ball in the fourth quarter. And he got a steal off of that. And PJ was holding his own pretty well. So I gave that to Doc. I saw that as Doc switching tactics and actually being flexible for once. I don't know if it was actually his idea, but I was willing to give it to him. I was on a high. And then...
Now, by the way, for that game, I parked where we parked for the Eagles game. And
we established
out of there,
it's just your parking spot now.
That's going to be the move. That's like it's a little bit of a walk, but it's a nice walk. It's a nice breeze. And getting out of there is like a charm. It's a joy. And I then picked up pizza, brought it home from the city. Like it was a really good afternoon tonight. Like a really good one. Beautiful. And then
I tweeted after that game, the 49ers should just leave. The city is too cocky for them. And I was correct.
You're big on this tweeting, huh?
Did you see the Joey Bosa video?
No. Oh, yes.
Bosa!
Yes, where the Eagles were taunting him. And then he pulled I make more money than you card.
Rattled. No, but my favorite part of the video is I can afford to pay my fines, and the guy was like, I can too. I'm rich, so am I.
Right.
That was the best part of the video.
But that reminds me of what was it? Lance Stevenson once. When we were playing, were you with me that game?
I don't know.
So it would have been early on in Lance Stevenson's career. And Paul George was on the Indiana Pacers. And this is probably 10 years ago. Maybe a little more. No, it's more than that. And Lance Stevenson was on the bench. He hadn't played any. And after Paul George hit a shot with, I want to say 20 seconds left to put them up by 6, 7, 8, whatever it is, Lance Stevenson started doing this, right? Like cut the throat. And the NBA had put out a statement earlier that season, like players shouldn't be doing that. Lance was doing it. And so, of course, I had to get into it with Lance a little bit. And I said, Lance, how many points you scored tonight? And Lance was mad. And I go, Lance, we scored the same amount of points tonight. He didn't like that one either. And he proceeded to pull the I'm making dollars card. Now, it's not to say I was making any real money back then. Whatever. I certainly wasn't making Lance Stevenson even money. But he didn't know that. And I was sitting essentially courtside. So I'm like, you don't know what I make. You don't need to know what I make because you'd be right. But that whole I make more than you bullshit, Like, that's just weak. That's when you don't know
And
how to
it's
express
like,
yourself.
yeah, you're just so rattled and you can't think of anything else. It's loser shit. And then Nick Bosa's wife after the game was like, I was scared for my life. I'm never going back to Philly. Like,
Good,
okay.
don't come back. Right.
Yeah, don't
We're
come
not
back.
losing
Fucking
anything
don't come
by,
back.
right? Nick Bosa and his racist brother not coming back to
Well,
Philly is
he's
a
also
lie.
racist. And
Well, they're all
Nick Bosa said he will not be watching this, which I'm sure everyone we were really waiting with bated breath to hear if he would watch. You know why? You know why he's not watching?
Why is
It's
that?
the first matchup between two black quarterbacks in NFL history.
He is such a racist. Did you hear what he said leading into the game? He said he couldn't wait to come back to Philly or to come to Philly because it's where I don't even know what he said. It was something to do with like the storming of the Capitol, and where this was
What?
the foundation of. Yeah, it was. So Joey Bosa line about
Yeah, I
Philadelphia.
just want to know, where were the Bosa brothers on January 6th,
No, so it's
2021?
Nick Bosa. It's not. I don't even know which one's which.
Joey's the Chargers, Nick is the Niners.
Right. So Nick Bosa. I don't know. There was something he said.
Are you sure it wasn't a joke I made to you?
No, it was definitely not a joke you made to me.
Are you certain of that fact?
No, I'm never certain about it, but I thought.
Because I'm pretty sure I made a Bosa January 6th storming the Capitol joke to you. And you thought it was funny, so it may have stuck as a Joey or a Nick Bosa quote.
Maybe. I don't know what he said. No, he said. I thought he said. Anyway.
It was extra. I mean, Debo before the game said the link wasn't going to be louder than the 49ers stadium, and then they got a bunch of delay of game penalties because they couldn't hear the calls. Whatever. We've moved on from the Eagles, but
we've moved on. So
that game was fun for me.
Ben Simmons watch.
Has he played? I don't think he's played since we last talked.
No, he may have played.
No, he got no. He had seen 20 minutes in the next game and was pulled out.
That was
and
the
hasn't
game.
Played since then.
That was actually the game where his coach, Jacques Vaughn, when asked about Ben Simmons, rolled his eyes and essentially said, I'm going to play the guys who are ready to play. And Ben clearly is not.
Like, what he said was probably worse than anything Doc said after Game 7. Doc didn't actually say anything. Everyone said he threw him under the bus, but if anything, he wasn't harsh enough.
Yeah, so Ben, again, Ben never ceases to disappoint. It's kind of what he does.
Well, I mean, anymore. If anything, it's very, very
entertaining, if nothing else.
Amusing, entertaining, fun.
So, Sixers play the Knicks on Sunday. I don't think I want to go to New York for that. Sixers play the Rockets on Monday, February 13th. Were you aware of this fact?
I was aware of this fact.
That is the night we drive back to Maryland and Virginia.
It is.
Do we go to that game before we drive back?
I feel like you're going to be miserable. Like, I could do it. I'd be perfectly fine. And
Well,
in fact,
is,
if we win the Super Bowl, I'll be in the city that whole day anyway. I'm going to the fucking parade. Why do you think I said right?
So I don't think the parade would be on Monday.
Wasn't it the night after last, or the day after last?
I think it was on Tuesday. I believe
sure?
It was on. I'm fairly certain because I went to Austin, Texas for work for one day. And I definitely did not leave on Sunday. And I definitely did not come back on the same day that I left. So I believe I left on Monday and came back Tuesday, although I may have come back Wednesday. And the parade was happening when I came back. So you're not going to get to go to a parade on Monday. That's not the way this works. It's not like the Phillies winning and the Phillies being home, and then they can throw a parade the next day. The Eagles have to come back home, and they're going to be partying in Arizona on Sunday night. So they'll come back on Monday for a parade on Tuesday or Wednesday.
I'm staying for extra days.
You're not.
Yes, I am.
You're not. No.
I'm not leaving until there's a parade.
I'll throw you a parade around the house.
Nope.
Yes. But you could go downtown. I'm sure downtown will be fun if we win. So I think we've shifted.
Yeah. I'm okay with going to that game, but I think you'll be a nightmare driving to Maryland.
Well, so the problem is you don't know how to drive on the highway. What 19-year-old doesn't know how to drive on the highway?
I've literally driven on the highway. I'd be perfectly fine. You just don't want me to.
Maybe you'll drive us there then.
Maybe.
Maybe I'll get drunk at the game and you'll have to
Maybe I'll get drunk at the game.
Maybe
I'm 21.
Sure you are.
Legally speaking. Illegally speaking.
Shh. Quiet. These are receipts. Be quiet.
I'm actually 22, sorry.
You don't even know how old you are. That's
November 28th, 2000. I'm 22 years old. I'm 22.
I just turned 22 2 months ago. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Sorry. What year were you born?
2000.
Not sure, sir.
2000.
2000. So you're 20. Yeah, 22.
22.
It's amazing. I don't remember you being born in 2000. Good for you. I just, it's new information for me. I'm often surprised by the things that you tell me.
It's very strange that I'm a Philly sports fan, given that I was, born and raised in Westport, Connecticut.
Right.
Not sure how that happened.
No, your driver's license doesn't give a birthplace and like a fandom line. Birthplace? No.
No, but yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Let's move on.
We moved when I was 16, so it's perfectly fine.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Ugh.
Signed Pedro Porro.
What?
How do you pronounce what is it? Porro?
Just say Pedro Porro. Why'd you make it like a little bit iffy?
What do you mean?
Pedro Porro? No, just say it normally. Like the American you are.
Pedro Porro? Porro.
Just say Pedro Porro. Just say Pedro Porro.
Should we give him a nick like double P squared?
No, that's not at all.
Is he going to start this weekend against Man City?
He better. Our only right back right now is Emerson. Got rid of all the other ones.
So, I think Emerson's going to start.
I do too. If I were betting on it, I would bet Emerson to start. But if you're asking me if I think Pedro Porro should start, yes.
Are we happy with our window?
No.
Why
Absolutely not. Because we did this stupid shit that we did last year too in the January window, where we hyper focused on one. Now, I think last window actually we didn't get that player. I don't even remember who it was, but I feel like I remember us having to switch targets at the very end of the window, and that's how we ended up with Kulusevski and Bentancur. Whereas this one, apparently we wanted Gerard Deulofeu. That was the report that came out today. And then he got injured, so we went for Danjuma, which I still don't like that signing.
Deulofeu's isn't he a left wing back?
No, he's a winger.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't he play for Everton? He was a defender.
No, he wasn't. He was a winger.
I don't know. I didn't think he was a winger, but okay.
He was a winger. So that was a link we had, which I didn't enjoy. And then we went for an shit link in Danjuma, who scored, I guess, with one of his 3 touches in the game.
I think it's too early to tell if Danjuma is going to be any good.
I'm basing it off what I saw from him at Villarreal, which was literally nothing this season.
How often did you watch Villarreal?
Abba, you and I both know it's more often than you think it would be.
But it's not that often, is it?
Consistently enough to know that he was not good. And I watched him last. Like, he scored the goals, but I've never been all that impressed with him. And, like, he's not young. He's 26 now. I think he had his birthday. I think he literally just had his birthday on deadline day. I just didn't enjoy that signing. And then Poro's good. But I didn't like that we hyper fixated on one player and couldn't buy anyone else.
Weren't you telling me early on that that's exactly the player we need, though?
No, I mean, like, other deals. Like, we needed.
No, I understand, but you
2
got
center backs. We needed a.
But Poro was exactly the guy you needed at right wing back. Exactly the player you wanted.
Yeah,
and
he's good.
Got him. And yes, there were issues in the last 24 hours, but Daniel Levy stepped in and got it done. Gave up 15%
which I tweeted. I think this gets done now that Levy is in charge, and then it did. It was Paratici who had talks break down, and then Levy was like, "All right," and he smacked his balls down on the table, and he said, "We're getting this shit done today." And he did.
That's what he did. Like, he
My
just got
owner.
his hands down, slapped his balls on the table, and said, "Like, fuck you all, we're getting this done."
Yep.
That's what you're picturing. You're picturing that little man walking up a little step stool because he can't reach. His balls can't reach the top of the table. And so he's standing up so
Don't buy it. Don't buy it.
That's what you were thinking he did?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, look, he got it done. So who cares? Who cares what he did or how he did it? He got it done.
And I'm using this as fuel for my Paratici agenda because he couldn't buy other players while he was working on that deal, and talks broke down under him. So he didn't do shit.
So I will say, like, the fact that we had a deal and then they reneged, though.
Oh, it's bullshit, and it's unprofessional. Absolutely.
And so do we have any players loaned to Villarreal? Or no, well, he's at Sporting. I'm thinking, I don't know why I'm thinking Villarreal, because that was Danjuma, sorry. Right. So Sporting, we don't have anything to do with them. The issue we have is we had the sell-on clause with Marcus Edwards, right? Where now it's not 50%, it's 35%.
And also we had agreed a deal in installments, and then they decided they wanted the fee entirely up front. So the deal was done, but we had agreed basically to let him play in the final on Saturday. And so immediately after the final, that's when the deal was going to get done. But then for some reason, the day after, or 2 days after, they decided that they wanted to renegotiate on payment terms.
So how does, like, we did them a solid, and then they turned around and essentially stabbed us in the back? Is that a fair assessment of what happened here?
Something like that. Because technically we hadn't agreed to the release clause, because the release clause is a one-time upfront payment, whereas I think we wanted to pay 3 installments.
So we didn't actually have a full agreement in place.
No, we did, because they had agreed to it.
They had agreed to it. Okay, so they reneged on an agreement that everybody had.
Yes.
So what I would say is we should never do business with that club ever again.
Good players go through there, though. You're going to
We
want
should
more of
never
their
do
players at some point.
I don't know how. I mean, hopefully they'll want one of our players and we'll give it back to them. But the way we sell players, like we'll never get a dime back from any of these players, so it doesn't really matter.
Next
Exactly.
season, our fullbacks will be decent. Next season.
Who's going to be our left wing back?
Udoji. And it'll be a left back next season.
You think we're going to play a back four?
I think Conte's gone.
So how is Porro any good at? Isn't he specifically made to play a back five, not a back four?
Defensively, he's probably a liability, but I don't care about defense. Like I said, I told you when we did the tactics last week, I told you what I wanted to see. Have both fullbacks bomb on, play a 3-man midfield, and have the third one drop back. It's still 3 defenders back. It's just now one.
What do you think of the Brian Heel loan deal?
I mean, free my boy. Did you see all the reports about what came out, though, where he was like apparently upset that he like didn't want to go to training and all this stuff? Conte ruined my boy. Conte made my boy depressed.
So I don't mind that he went out on loan. I'm fine with that. What I mind is that he went out on loan to a team in La Liga.
Because he was homesick, because he wanted to go back home. That was the whole thing. Is he was so upset with Conte and the like way he was being treated here that he for him. I agree. I totally agree. But this wasn't actually a game time move. This was a I'm miserable here move. Because Conte makes young players' lives miserable.
If we have a new coach next year, does he want to come back, or is he?
I would hope so. He's a very talented player, but you have to wait.
What's interesting is our assistant coach said something about, or it might have been Paratici said something about Jed Spence not training consistently while he was here, whereas all reports were that Jed Spence was actually really good in training.
Yep.
So I'm not sure who to believe.
I believe the reports. I think that they want to paint Spence as the villain when in actuality it's Conte, who refuses to play young players. I mean, the report immediately after Spence went out on loan was he was very adamant that he didn't want a buy option or anything. And the club agreed, but he was very adamant about that because he truly believes that he can be a success here.
So that tells me a lot about him.
Exactly. It doesn't tell me that's a kid who doesn't train consistently.
Right. So you think he thinks that Conte's probably out next season and he'll get a shot at playing next year?
Either that or he's like, I'm going to convince Conte too. I mean, I'm not sure he can because I think Conte would rather shoot himself in the eye than play him, but.
So do we win this game this weekend?
Fuck no. But I want to keep talking about transfers a little bit. Like the Jed Spence stuff. I think, I was talking to you about how much in the summer, right? Or was I just tweeting that? I think I told you I hated the move.
Yeah, you don't like Jets. You didn't like Jed Spence.
So at the time, I thought it was absolutely the wrong move. And it has been proved wrong move because I said we needed a ready-made guy who was gonna play, and we ended up buying a young guy who Conte was never gonna play, and I was right about that. But I immediately shifted my focus once he was signed from Spence agenda to Conte agenda. And that Conte agenda will continue forever because he makes it miserable for every young player he comes across.
I don't know what to tell you other than he's our coach right now, so you kind of have to just live with it or not.
He's also, I think, sick with a gallbladder thing in Italy, so he might be coaching for this game.
I don't know if that changes anything about this game, though. It probably doesn't. Okay, so you think we lose this weekend? Are we going to play Wrexham or Sheffield United in the next round?
Wrexham have like this like movie protagonist energy around them, so I have a feeling that we play them and they beat us.
So what I'm going to tell you is
in like a scrappy 1-0.
I watched the Wrexham game, and it was fun to watch. And they're actually fairly talented.
Oh, they were horrible. Defensively, they were atrocious.
They're fairly talented. They're more talented than your average run-of-the-mill fifth-tier team should be. They are going to be annihilated. Their chance was when that kid got a red card for what nobody actually. They don't even have video on what happened. I never saw the video of what he actually did. And so they were playing with a man up. They should have scored in the mid-80s minute. Then they scored in like the 92nd, and their defending was atrocious, and they led up to third. I think Sheffield United is going to annihilate them in the next round or in the replay.
Does it matter? Does it really matter? Like,
I kind of wanted to play Wrexham. I kind of wanted to play Wrexham and annihilate them like 7-0. I wanted Harry Kane on that pitch, and I want him scoring 5 goals. Like, I get that there's
we
this
look
whole
like shit against Preston North End.
Oh, I know. But this is
we're just like team. We're the worst team. We're the least enjoyable team to watch in the entire world. And we're so untalented and unspectacular. I hate every second of watching this team.
You know we have a pretty decent chance of winning the FA Cup too, right?
No, we don't.
With 16 teams left in it and some of the big names out, we actually have a pretty decent chance of winning.
Guess who's a choker?
Antonio Conte and Harry Kane.
Oh, I know. Harry Kane.
I know. So with that, I think it's time for us to go to our Punch of the Week.
Punch of the Week.
Oof. Did you hurt yourself on that one?
No.
Looked like you may have like hyperextended your elbow.
That's what I look like every time.
Okay. Punch of the Week. Your Punch of the Week.
Trent Williams and the Bosas. Do I have to pick one? And the guy who's punching the ball. Fuck it. I'm going everyone who was rooting for the Niners to win. You embarrassed yourself. You are a disgrace to this country. And we beat the ever-loving shit out of you. Fuck the Bosas. Fuck Trent Williams. Fuck the Niners. And fuck pussy-ass Brock Purdy. Brocky. How did that work out, Brocky? I didn't realize that the Rocky story was about a guy who got the shit beat out of him and then refused to come back in like a little bitch. Baby back bitch.
Baby pussy. Back. Oh my God. You're really angry. There's a lot of anger in that little body of yours. Ooh, a lot of anger. So my punch of the week.
Not that much shorter than you. What do you mean little body?
I mean, you weigh half of what I weigh. Who are you kidding? That doesn't speak very well to what I weigh right now, but like you weigh like half of what I weigh. So my punch of the week goes to Sporting Lisbon.
Fair.
For the manner in which they handled the negotiations with Tottenham with respect to Pedro Porro. Is that better? Pedro Porro.
Did you say Pedro? You keep saying Pedro.
Pedro. Free Pedro. What's that movie?
I don't fucking know. I don't watch movies. Ask your daughter.
So that's my punch of the week. And with that,
we thank you, Guy.
I thank you, Ari, for being here with us.
Thank you, Guy. And our listeners.
Yes, we do
Listener,
thank our listeners.
no one made it here.
No one made it here. But it's okay, because these are receipts for later on when people start asking questions about where'd you guys get your start from? We started grassroots, baby. Grassroots.
With these shitty ass early episodes.
Goodbye, everybody.